Ayo, what you cooking?
Welcome to Lend Me a Fiver podcast, where we have conversations with people who have had successful journeys. Make sure you subscribe to get regular content, hear about what people have done, what they've achieved, so you can be inspired and motivated, and maybe take away some gems, hopefully take away some gems. And also leave some comments. As I always say, if you leave some comments about who you want to see, we're going to try our best to try to get those types of people on. I want to welcome today's guests, Gabriel. So Gabriel is a young cryptocurrency mastermind, I'm going to call him. Like, that's probably that's not the official title, but that's what I'm going to call him. I do also want to add in this video that neither myself or Gabriel are financial advisors. We're simply discussing our experiences and giving our opinions and what we feel about the kind of currencies and the markets. So Gabriel, my understanding is that you, at the age of 19, so you're currently 20, yeah. But at the age of 19, yes, just 19 years old, you were able to turn £5,000 investment into £365,000. Trading cryptocurrency. So you're still active in the cryptocurrency community. Continuing in the game, active, studying the game, making investments. You've also gained quite a social media following. When you considered running the 1K to 10K challenge, I know that was a big kind of, like, at the time, I feel like there was a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon. And at the moment, cryptocurrency 2021 has definitely increased its adoption levels. It was definitely a trend this year, made many millionaires in 2021 from cryptocurrency. So it's fair to say cryptocurrency is here to stay. Firstly, though, let's go into your journey, how you came across cryptocurrency, even though you're quite young. So I know your journey is probably quite short versus a lot of other people that have been on here. But just tell us how you got introduced into cryptocurrency, how you were raised, and like your upbringing, just so we can understand how you got into the kind of industry.
Yeah, it makes sense. So firstly, I was playing football. And then...
So what age are we talking about when you started playing?
So I started playing football like four, 5. Then I stopped when I was about 17. So I played for about 12, 13 years. And football was really what I was looking to do, professionally. So I played in... Obviously, I moved to Ireland when I was 4. And then I started playing football in Ireland. And
just for the record, Gabriel was actually our first international guest. So he lives in Ireland at the moment. So you're based in Dublin, right?
Yeah.
So our first international guest. So you currently live in Ireland. So you lived in, where were you before Ireland?
Netherlands, in Rotterdam. So I lived in Rotterdam from when I was born till 4. Moved to Ireland, and then obviously went to school playing football, and then then I played couple of clubs.
So Irish, like local clubs?
No, I started local, and then I moved up to the higher levels. So I played in the highest level in Ireland. And then,
how big is football there?
It's quite big, but it's not like the standard of UK, like clubs, they still participate in the Europa League and stuff like that,
of course. And so just for the record, just a bit of a side note, where's that play? So I go to Ireland quite often, or used to before kind of the pandemic. Oh my gosh, what's that strip? Is it begin with Temple Bar? That's it. Right, there we go. Temple Bar. So there's that strip. Is that kind of your scene? Do you kind of do that now, or is it?
Nah,
not really. Is that like a touristy thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I knew there was something.
It's just tourists to like go and drink and stuff like that. That's what they do.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, cool. So you were schooled up to kind of obviously secondary school level. Yeah. Did you like pass your you done all your? Are you quite academic? Did you pass all
Yeah, I did. I think you guys call it A levels.
Okay, so you also. But do you have GCSEs?
Yeah.
Okay, so how well did you do? Did you do good?
Did all right.
Okay, so you're not like a super academic. Okay.
No. School's not really my thing.
Okay.
It's just something that my parents really want me to get done.
Yeah, of course.
I did my GCSEs. We call it junior cert.
Okay.
And then leaving cert or A levels.
Yep.
And then I'm in college, and that's my educational journey so far.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then following that though, are you considering university or is that?
Yeah, I'm in uni.
Okay.
But I've tried.
What are you studying?
Computing. So I'm doing computing, but
so you're a bit of a tech. Are you tech guy? Or?
A little bit, yeah. But like, I'm not really into. I don't really think it's for me. So I'm trying to see if I can get a course changed to business. Okay.
So you're kind of at the moment still kind of sussing out what you want to do outside of the trading.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't really like. If I had a choice, I wouldn't have done uni. But obviously, my parents want me to do otherwise, so I'll just get that out of the way.
Okay.
And then,
so what do your parents think you do for a living at the moment?
No, they know I do crypto. Everyone knows.
Yeah, I know that, but what does that mean though? For example, if I said to my mum, I do cryptocurrencies, she'd be like, what are you talking about?
It's not, because I've actually like educated my parents on it.
Oh, okay.
So they know, like, even my dad does it. Like, he's done quite well on it as well.
Okay, cool.
And
off your like education.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
But he's obviously educated himself as well.
Okay.
But I've taught him most of what he knows. So.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
So I do think there are probably a number of people who either follow you or watch this who are still unsure or confused about what Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is, right? So I think we should start there, because I'm telling you now, there's people that are probably invested now, they still don't know what it is. So what would you say? Like, let's try to keep this as kind of
simple,
plain Jane. Like, if we were explaining it to some like either a really old person or a really young person, right? Like, what is cryptocurrency? Let's just start there, very basic.
Cryptocurrency is literally just a digital asset. Like, it's like, let's say you have a coin in your hand, but it's not. Just imagine the coin is not in your, like, you know, it's not there physically, but you still own it. That's literally what crypto is. It's like you own a certain amount of tokens that have been minted.
Minted?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Minted basically means when they're coded, they've just been produced, you know? Okay. It's like out of thin air, basically.
Okay.
So when they're minted, then...
and so someone can create a coin, mint a number of coins, or create them. What gives it value then?
Me and you and other people.
The demand for it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So depending on what the project does, what their goals are and what they want to achieve.
Okay.
And they're basically like just their mission that will basically attract people on whether they should buy it or.
Okay, so what they're trying to achieve as a project.
Exactly. Yeah.
And whether or not they achieve that will give the coin value.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So now we kind of got a high level understanding as to what it is. How did you, what age did you start doing this?
Literally last year, 19.
19? Oh, you started last year? Okay, wow. So you're quite new to the game as well, so to speak. I actually got into it before you've made a lot less money though. Yeah. How would you say, what kind of introduced you into this game? Like, what made you kind of start trading, or how did you learn it?
Yeah, so basically, I was doing social media marketing for a bit when I stopped football, because...
from a business standpoint, or making money from it? Or?
I made a bit, yeah. Not near as much as crypto.
So okay, cool. So why did you stop playing football?
Okay, because obviously I came to England for a couple of trials and stuff like that, and you know, it's like football. It's not as easy as people think it is, you know. So
no, I think people know it's hard.
Yeah,
100%. Right? This is what I think about the population,
exactly,
about the number of people who want to play.
But like a lot of people are like, oh, they get paid so much and they're just running on the pitch, you know. It's not like that.
So I think once as a career, it's not the hard. I don't think it's the hardest career in the world versus a number of others, right?
True,
because bear in mind, a lot of people love it. If you love the game. And you're paid to play. It's kind of like winning the lottery, right? If it right. So I get it though. It's not like the training, etc. It's not straightforward.
Yeah. So I came to England, a couple of clubs, and it didn't work out. You know, some injuries here and there, some trials, and then some rejections as well. And then I kind of got to a stage where I was like getting a bit older. You know, 17, 18, 19, and you're like, especially because I'm from Ireland, it's a bit harder. You know, so I was just like.
And your parents, were they supportive of that football career?
Yeah. They were very supportive. But I just felt like, you know, when you're getting to a certain age, it's like you need to start making money. You can't really do something for a hobby anymore, because at the end of the day, you need money to survive. And
of course.
So
you had that mindset quite early though.
Yeah.
What do you think gave you that?
I just like to look into the future. Like it's just like so many people are just so like
invested
into the now. You know, they don't look into the future. They don't think about, okay, 5 years from now, because a lot of people I see my age, they don't want to worry about 5 years until 5 years gets there, you know? So then when they're in, like, when 5 years comes, they're like, okay, how do I start investing, this and that? Meanwhile, I've been doing that like 5-6 years ago, you know? So it's like I'm miles ahead. So it's always good to be one step ahead, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So football didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first introduction to crypto?
Okay. So basically, I went to a friend's house. This was around March, I think late March last year, 2020. And this was when everything literally crashed. Crypto market crashed, stock market crashed because of COVID.
Yep.
So one of my friends brothers said to me to invest into Uber, and then I looked into it and I just got an overall feel for the whole stock market, you know. And then I basically did my homework, went on YouTube, did all the research, blah blah blah. But then I invested quite a couple of hundred, not too much, just to play around and see like what's like. And then like one thing I realized is the stock market is kind of a long-term thing, and I didn't feel long-term was the best like thing for me at the time. You're being patient, you know? Yeah. Like I'm patient, but you also want to try and get it done as quick as possible, you know. So then obviously with YouTube and the algorithm, you know, anything that you watch, something similar will come up on your feed. So if you watch maybe crypto market, stock market might pop up, and vice versa, you know. So one day I just clicked the YouTube sign and then refreshed, and then something was like, it was something about crypto and chainlink, will it go to $1,000? So then that caught my eye.
Wow, so you got YouTube to thank.
Yeah. So that came up, and then I just watched that, and then from there I watched the guys. I continued watching his page and his channel, and then from there started doing lots of homework, and then
and so do you still follow that page today, or is he solid? Who's that person?
His name is Crazy for Cryptos.
Okay.
So Crazy and then number 4.
So you cryptos. You back him.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah.
Crazy for Cryptos. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that was your introduction, all right. So, but what drew you? What about that video or what he said made you think, yeah, this is actually a better option than kind of the Uber stocks or the kind of standard stock market?
It's kind of, I don't know. I'm not too sure, to be honest, bro. It's like I watched that first video, and then I literally watched like all his other videos below it, and then I started seeing like, okay, the returns, you know.
Oh, so he's talking about the returns.
Yeah, like he was talking like I'm pretty sure everything that he talked about that time has probably done like 30x minimum, you know.
Okay,
so
fair.
Like I just watched all his videos. He kind of explains why he believes something can do that as well, you know, not just I can do 30x for what's the reason that he can actually explain, you know. So
kind of the fundamentals of the project.
Exactly. Okay. So that was pretty much it where I started, and then I had a Twitter account as well, which is mainly just for like personal use, and then Twitter for crypto is quite big as well. So
is that the person, like another person to follow? Okay.
Yeah, so Twitter like is where you can find like a lot of people who have done quite well in crypto and you know, stuff like that. So I changed basically I unfollowed like everyone who was not doing crypto and stuff like that.
You're like, that's not personal. But if you're not doing crypto, we're not friends anymore.
Exactly. So it's like, just because, you know, I wanted to be
focused,
focused, you know. So then I started following all the people who I thought were beneficial in the crypto space, and then from there I learned a lot every single day, you know. So,
and so just watching constant content and so on, right? But so when you say you learn, was it like you're learning just about what projects do and
so
or you're learning how to actually trade?
So at the time I wasn't really trading, to be honest, because I think I only had about 5k to my name. And that was because before I was doing social media marketing, I worked. So after I finished my leaving cert, I did like a job in a seafood factory for a year, and just saved a lot of my money from there. And then also with social media marketing, I managed to get some money from that as well. And then from that, I basically what was it? Saved, yeah. So I had that money and then I put that into crypto. That was basically after I bought, like when I saw about chainlink. Basically, that's when I like.
So was chainlink your first coin you invested in?
Yeah. Okay. So that's the money that I used to put into chainlink.
Oh, you put the full 5?
Yeah.
You're a savage, bro.
But I was lucky as well because.
Oh my gosh! Basically, can we just caveat, like, generally speaking, to put 100% of your savings is not the best way to trade.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I was lucky at the time because the market had just crashed. You know,
okay, so you're buying or sells.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
So I was lucky in that sense. So like,
okay, and then what did chainlink do for you in how long?
Okay, so if I didn't touch, basically I took some out from the profits to trade, but if I didn't take anything out from now, if I just left it, I would have had about, let's say 60 at the all-time highs of chainlink.
So and that's after about a year.
Yeah.
So, and what does chainlink do? What made you think, okay, this is the coin versus all the others?
So basically, chainlink is an oracle. Oracles are quite big in the crypto space.
Oracle, you're gonna have to dumb it down.
So it's basically what oracles do is like they provide security and they provide data feeds and price feeds. You know, so like see like sometimes when we're on maybe like let's say Coinbase or something like that. You know, and it's not giving you the price. Like instantly. That's what chainlink kind of does. Like chainlink basically provides price feeds for all these different maybe like exchanges or different softwares and stuff like that on the crypto market. So
effectively like shows you the prices of everything. Yeah,
it basically like it's used for protection and price feeds. So price feed is basically just like to give you basically stuff in real time, you know.
Okay.
And then
like a comparison site maybe. Or that's too simple.
Nah, it's hard to explain. It could be like.
What would you liken it to in like everyday world?
Let's say. That's a hard question.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, it's just because what I like to do is just ensure that. Like, let's get some light bulb moments. So people going, so I get it, right? Like, because obviously, because one thing is so I've been involved in crypto, but I know it's a complex thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not like people. I know you've said it before. It's easy, right? It's like some people have said it's easy, but in reality, you kind of have to change your mindset and the way you're thinking a bit, right? Like, especially when you get involved with Uni Swap and all this madness. It's like, what is this? It's not real life. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, okay, cool. But so chainlink, what was that return like? So talk us through that journey from that 5K into the 6 figures numbers.
Yeah. Basically I put in a little bit, I think around end of March, if I remember correctly. End of March, then I put the rest in April. So I think chainlink was about $3.40, something like that. $3.40, $3.50. And then I basically just waited, just patient, you know, just waited, and then it just started going up, and then around.
And in that time, why didn't you feel like, let me take this money out?
Because you know the video that I watched and it said, "Can chainlink go to $1,000?"
So you were waiting for that, okay?
So I was thinking,
okay.
Yeah. So, that was what kind of like, you know.
So it wasn't like a skill or like
unique.
It was just like you in your mind. You're like, I've been told this can go here. I'm waiting for this point. Okay,
exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I didn't
you're still relatively human at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. So I didn't have any skills or anything like that at the time. So it was just from that, and then I think around July, from like April to July, I waited, and then chainlink went from about when I bought it, so 3 something to like $20 or so. So that was already like a 5-6x, something like that. So yeah, my money went from like 5K to like, it was crazy because I kept going down to my mom every day and showing her like, look, my
what was it you're showing her? I'm surprised she didn't ask you to draw that out, man.
Nah, she kept like, you know how African moms are, like they'd be like warning you and saying, oh, better not bring the police to my house or anything like that. 'Cause, you know,
was dodgy. That's funny.
Yeah, you know, they're always thinking the worst.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah. Especially when it comes to that. Yeah,
exactly. So, And
where did you go? All right. So, at what point did you think, okay, now time to take profits
Time to take it
or move to something else?
out. So that was actually a big decision. So I think I went from like 5 to like 22 or something like that, let's say. That's just ballpark. I think it was like 22, 23, something like that. And then I think around July time, this is when Uniswap like started like.
And what is Uniswap? Because this is the beginners are not really on this. This is the complex stuff.
Yeah. So Uniswap is basically just like a decentralized Binance. So there's no central entity, you know?
Okay, so I get it because I haven't been involved with Uniswap. Not at first, I didn't get it at first. I'm sure you've been on a few calls with me where I'm like, bro, I don't understand what's going on. What's these fees, bro? Gas fees and all that. But like let's dumb it down a bit. So what does decentralized mean versus normal crypto?
So let's say I want to buy something from you, right? Or let's say I want to buy something from your website or something like that. Like I don't need to come to you, okay? So like you can create a smart contract. A smart contract basically means it's a programmable contract, and once the task is carried out, it'll just do it automatically. Like I don't need to come to you to click OK, you know? So it does it by itself once the task has been carried out, you know?
Okay.
So that's what Uniswap is. Uniswap is basically just like an exchange like Binance or Coinbase, but there's no middleman. It's just
no one's there to kind of get authenticate and okay it. Okay, cool.
So it's all been programmed and coded. So it's just like it's you and the exchange.
Okay, actually that's a pretty good one because I think that's actually cleared it up a bit for me. To be fair, that's good. All right, cool. All right. So Uniswap. So what made you feel like this is where to make more money?
Okay, yeah. So it was crazy. Like last summer around July time, it was like a big craze about Uniswap, and just like because the Ethereum like gas fees were so cheap as well. So I told you I was using Twitter for crypto and stuff like that, you know. So everyone was just talking about this Uniswap thing, and I was like, "Oh, what is Uniswap?" You know. And I was a bit skeptical to take my money out of chainlink because I would say like I was not a diehard not diehard, but like I was.
That's like it's kind of the first coin that's shown you love, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I was like, oh, it's a big decision, me taking out some money and then going into something else, you know. But yeah, I managed to do it, and then the fees are very low at the time, so it wasn't all those crazy fees that we had like two months ago or 3 months ago. It's nuts. So at the time we were probably paying like £4, £5, £6, £7 transaction or something like that.
Why did they increase it then? Just to popularity?
No, so they didn't increase it. So the way the fees work are how congested the network is, the Ethereum network, and then based on the Ethereum price as well, because the higher Ethereum goes, the higher the fee is going to be. But then the more congested it is, everyone is kind of battling to get
real estate,
exactly, like the fastest transaction done. So it's going to be like, especially like the rich, you know the comparison of like people say the rich get richer, but it's like
the rich go first.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. So
fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So Uniswap now, you've kind of you found out about it via YouTube.
Yeah.
And you thought, okay, this is where I can make some money. You learned it on YouTube?
Yeah, so I came across it on Twitter.
Twitter, okay.
Yeah, on crypto Twitter. Then I obviously asked some people some questions.
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I asked some people questions, and then they gave me like a YouTube tutorial on how to use Uniswap, and
So you learn it and then invested?
Yeah, so literally like on Uniswap there's projects coming out every single day, and then the volume on Uniswap every day was literally just increasing because everyone was starting to use Uniswap.
And what are some of the projects that took you to where kind of that point?
There's a couple.
To stand out, where your new chain links.
Yeah, so there would be YFL. YFL did quite well for me.
Okay. And so basically, and we're talking. Did you then invest the 22 in the next one?
No. So I took out about 10, I think.
For personal?
Yeah, no. So I think there was 22, 23. I took about 10, left like 12.
Oh, in chain. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So and then I invested into, there's a couple as well. Those, I'm pretty sure Keeper did me quite well. See, the thing is, it's so hard to remember because
and again, I think specifics is kind of like not really, but I think it's good to understand what was that coin that took you, that done those X's that took you to break that 6-figure kind of barrier.
Keeper was
Keeper,
one.
yeah.
Keeper did well.
And again, knowing, because at that time, I guess, was it a patient game? Did you have to wait a period for it, or was this like in a months, weeks, year?
Nah, see, that's the crazy thing, bro. So I'll tell you how it worked last year. So, okay, I don't know if you've heard of Uni Finance.
Yep.
Yeah. So the developer of Uni Finance, he literally started like all this Uni Swap craze, you know. So he created his own token. It went from like 300 to like 40K, which is Uni Finance, in like a month or so, or even less. So after that.
And were you in that from the beginning?
No, I wasn't. Okay. I was skeptical because it came out. You see, the thing is, I still didn't have that much money, you know. It came out at like, when I saw it, it was like $1,000, and I think the peak now was probably like 90K. So I would have been up like 90x, yeah. But I was skeptical because, you know, I didn't have that much, and then if I bought it, it would have been like a big risk as well because I didn't take much out of Link, you know. So so basically Uniswap last year was. What used to happen was, like, say Uni Finance got released, or say something similar to Uni Finance got released. What would happen is then, because anybody can make a token on Uniswap, you know, people used to then basically make a clone of Uni Finance. So they'd be like Uni Finance, which was YFI, and then they'd be like YFII.
Well, they still do that with Safe Moon, exactly. Safe Moon Cat, like Safe Moon, Safe Moon, so, or Dodge,
exactly,
whatever.
Yeah. So that was where that started, and basically what people used to do was just go to like YFI, make their money in YFI, do like a 5 or 10x or whatever, and like, and it was crazy. Like, you could do like a 5-10x in like 2 days or something like that, you know, and then they'd move on to the YFII, the clone, and then they'd move on to the YF.
And they were making money on those
exactly,
as well.
Yeah. So it was just like a repeated cycle.
Okay.
Then until the next biggest coin came out. So maybe in like 2-3 weeks you'd have another craze, and everyone would run there, and you know, it's just everyone was just basically making so much money, and it's just like, just make your money in the real one, move to the clone, make your money in the clone, move to the other one. But then and
the demand was there for it.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a period of like just rug pulls, you know, like, so obviously
And what's a rug pull?
Rug pull is basically just like when the developer can just decide to pull all the liquidity, you know. So
and that's like taking all the money, from the coins out for themselves.
So
that's effectively, I guess that's the risk with a number of these less established coins, right? Because you can lose all your money.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, but it's more so for when the team is anonymous, because when the team is not anonymous, people can go and, you know, find them and stuff like that, you know. But like, like there was a point where there was so many rug pulls.
So those guys are rich, for sure.
Honest, I was in a token called Esprit, which made me a lot of money, but I ended up not taking all the money out because I got not greedy, but I fell into the. So basically, people are giving their predictions and stuff like that, and they're all saying, "Oh, it's gonna go to $100," but it topped out at 50, you know. And then ever since 50, it's just started going down. But I was waiting for 100. So then, the developer of that, he wasn't even a developer. He paid people on Fiverr to basically to create the smart contract and create just like everything with the project and stuff like that. And then, he rugged the project for like 3.2 million or something like that. So, but people did the research, and they managed to find out who he was. I don't know what the development of that was. I think, it's just so much stress because, you know, you have to look for the person, you have to go report, and, you know, like, the police have other things to be focusing on.
Yeah, cool.
And because the person lives maybe in a different country or something like that, you know.
So at this point, so what month would you say this is? So you started in March, April. Where are we now? on the timeline?
Rug pulls would probably be around August.
Would you say you had 6 figures at that point?
Nah, 6 figures is probably like late October.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, for most 19-year-olds, that's like, you're still making significant amounts of money, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in that kind of 6-figure territory, what numbers are you playing with? What are you investing? What kind of amounts? Are you still investing your 5, 10Ks, or have you started increasing those numbers?
See, it depends, because like on Uniswap, you can put in your 5Ks and you can come out with like 100K. Like there was even a project I put in, what was it, like 10K within like a week or 2 weeks. It was like 90K. I sold early, you know, so I didn't take all that out, but that's happened to me at least 2 or 3 times, or even more. Like so like Uniswap is a very easy place to, well, it's probably not like that anymore, but it was a very like lucrative place, you know, where you can just flip,
if you get in early.
Yeah, like flip 3K into like 100+K in like a week or something.
And how are you finding out? How are you finding out about the new projects coming out?
So there was a website, basically like a bot, where you could literally it would basically just say like, okay, so like let's say all these Twitter influencers that I was following and stuff like that, they basically had people coming to them early, basically because they had followers. So all the developers would come to them to basically promote their project, and they'd give them an amount of tokens or something like that, you know. So the website that I used, they had like an algorithm basically just to any project that the Twitter influencers are following, basically it would come up as green. So if there's many Twitter influencers following the project, it would be green, and then if there's a couple, smart, it would be orange, and then if there's not, so that, and then red,
anything that is like green, you're thinking let's get in it, because people are gonna start pushing it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So
smart. Okay, so so then when you made your first 6 figures, then were you thinking, okay, I've got money now, like, or were you thinking I've got to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
What was your mindset? So why coming? I mean, even when you're hitting like 100, 200K, like surely you're thinking I'm done with this, no?
Nah, it's because like obviously like it's short term, you know. I'm still young. Well, God willing, I still have a lot of years ahead, you know. So anybody can blow 200, 300, 400 in space of like, you know, a month or even a year.
You could do it in a day, depending on how you spend it. Let's be honest, but yeah.
So you know, I don't think there's ever a point where you can stop. But yeah, it's just like, and I was also having fun with it, you know, like even though you're seeing your money go up, but you're also learning about the space and stuff like that, you know. So and also because crypto works in cycles, you know, the cycle could end tomorrow, and then you're stuck. You're like, you don't have enough to move into something else, you know. So that's why you just have to try and make as much as possible when you're there. Yeah.
So when you kind of, I guess the numbers that's cited is 365. Why is it stopped there? Why is it not reported as 500 or 700?
No, it's a lot higher than that.
It is higher now. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. That's just. I guess that's just the. So why is that number so significant? Is it just the amount of time you made it?
No. So basically, the time that I did that podcast, that was the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we get an updated figure?
Yeah.
What would you say you made? In the space.
About $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that definitely changes the video title. Yeah. Oh, wow. So that's impressive. And it's literally, you've been in the space for 12 months?
Let's say 14 months now.
Okay, well, that's impressive.
Months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the basics, because I do really want people to try to learn something, not like we're educational, but just so they have an understanding of what's happening in this conversation, right? So what's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins? Very basic, simple, one-liners if you can.
Okay.
What would you say?
So basically Bitcoin is, as we said, like digital currency. It's the first crypto. It came out in 2009, made by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know who Satoshi is.
Of course.
Could be a government, could be a person. Nobody knows. There's many theories behind it, but we don't know.
And so they determine the amount of Bitcoins at the time of creation, right?
Yeah, so obviously they minted, I think only 21 million tokens. I might be at.
And that won't ever increase.
No, it's not possible.
So there's only 21 million Bitcoin period in circulation, and that will never increase.
Never.
Why can't it increase? If Satoshi makes more,
it's basically the way they've programmed the smart contract. You know, once that's the thing with smart contracts. Once you've set it, you can't tamper with it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so nobody can change anything. So once something's set in stone, you can't change it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then so what about Ethereum?
So Ethereum is just basically like, Ethereum isn't really a token that I've really studied too well.
Okay, but if you just like from your knowledge, right? So I don't think I don't think it's gospel. Right? It's more just an opinion of what you think, right?
It's basically just like, right now it's number 2 market cap in the crypto market. It's basically a token that came out, I think 2017 or so. So, it's kind of like a network. Let's just say like that's how we used to trade all these Uni Swaps and stuff like that, because they're all on the Ethereum network, you know.
Yeah.
But right now, like Ethereum they're working on ETH 2.0. So that's basically just a new development of the Ethereum network, and then that'll kind of bring the gas fees and stuff like that down.
But it's also a coin, right? So it was also minted and it has a number, a limited circulation, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
And then altcoins, right? So I guess they're the 3 buckets I would put.
Yeah.
I would split cryptocurrencies into, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. Is that fair?
Yeah. Ethereum was probably an altcoin as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it isn't much an altcoin anymore, because
it's so big, right?
Yeah, it's kind of upgraded.
Okay. So what's an altcoin?
Altcoin is literally just anything except Bitcoin.
Exactly. That's my understanding of it. I just want to make sure there's nothing more technical than that. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So there are a few other terms and acronyms that I think people have probably heard either on Clubhouse, WhatsApp groups, YouTube, Twitter. And I thought, how better to kind of educate some people than to just give them, again, it's a bit of a challenge for you.
Yeah.
But this in the simplest way, if we can just, in the simplest format, try to just summarize what you think these are, right? So let's start with diamond hands. Because that's, again, popular term, right? People don't know. People probably hear it and going, yeah, diamond hands. So I know what it means, but what do you think it means, right?
Yeah, so one thing about the crypto space is there's a lot of like memes and stuff like that, you know? Because obviously people are there to make the money, but they also want to have fun, you know?
100%.
So diamond hands are literally just to have strong hands. So if the market is going down, don't sell. Yeah, just like, don't look at your portfolio, don't do anything, don't just forget about it, and just, And they're
effectively saying that the longer you hold, the more money you make, right? That's where the diamonds are, right?
Yeah, exactly. Practically. It's not always the case, but...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's the kind of theory behind the work.
Exactly,
So I'm going to say hodl.
Yeah.
But technically it's hold, right? So HODL, but it's hold. I don't know why. Why have they flipped the D and the L?
It's just a meme. It's just like, I'm pretty sure, I think a couple of years ago,
typo or something.
Someone made a typo and wrote hodl, and that was just like the standard.
Honestly, hodl was huge, right? So that just means... Even if it's going up or going down, just hold on to it, right? Hodl. Okay, cool. Easy.
Yeah.
FUD. FUD.
FUD, so FUD is basically fear, uncertainty, doubt.
Yep.
Which basically means like, you can use it from, it depends on the context. Like sometimes people say someone is spreading FUD just to say like, oh, they're trying to get cheaper prices and, spread negativity and stuff like that. But sometimes FUD is actually not fake and it's actually real, like and someone is actually
it's actually kind of doing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So like if Bitcoin is clearly going down and someone says it's FUD, like that's just dumb because it's actually going down, like or if someone says, oh, Bitcoin is gonna do this, like, unless there's no proven fact behind it, then you can say it's
so an example of FUD is the US, like me literally just saying some Timbuktu's government has banned this coin.
It's like you waking up.
But I'm literally just making it up. Like, exactly. I'm just tweeting it.
That's FUD.
In order for people to sell,
so
bring the price down so
price.
I can buy it.
Yeah,
okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Simple. Blockchain, another common term.
Blockchain is basically just like a ledger. So it's like a ledger where you can basically see transactions of like sales, buys.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you could have learned that in uni.
Yeah.
Not the blockchain bit, but the ledger bit. Okay, cool. Fiat currency.
Fiat is just like euro, pounds,
okay,
dollar.
so you're like your standard kind of everyday currencies that you use, your physical currencies, right?
Yeah.
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO. So FOMO's.
I know I've been hit with this several times, so I'm just like.
Yeah, so FOMO's fear of missing out, and normally it tends to happen when people have maybe missed an entry or they're too scared to get into the market when it's red. And then when they see it's green, they all want to jump in then, and it's like, what's the point? You've already missed the chance, you know. But then they think it's gonna go higher.
It's like missing the boat and still jumping in the water to catch it. Right? It's like you're drowning. Exactly. Sometimes you drown, sometimes you catch the boat, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it's like that. Someone tells you to get into something, you don't because you think nah, and then you see it climbing, and you're like, oh my gosh,
exactly.
What do I do now? Like it's that fear right, of like I've missed out, etc. Okay, cool, straightforward. Market cap. Another common term.
Market cap is literally just, so let's say let's say you have 10 million circulating supply, then you just multiply it by the current price. So that will give you the market cap of the whole, basically the project, you know?
Okay, so fair, straightforward. Like number of tokens versus current cost, market cap.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, but so why, and that's, effectively that's what the value of the total project is. Okay, cool, straightforward, lovely. A whale. Obviously, we know it's an animal, like in the ocean, but not in crypto terms.
Yeah. So a whale is basically just someone who has a lot of money and they can.
Okay, so but how, for example, how do you determine? Like, is it a percentage of coins? Like, how do you determine a whale, right? Because it's all relative to how much the coin's worth, right?
Yeah, like a whale would probably be someone who can have an impact on the price.
Okay. So, for example, a millionaire putting $1 million into Bitcoin is not a whale, really. They're not a whale, right? Okay, cool. Like but $1 million putting it into lend me a $5 coin.
Yeah.
That's a whale because that's literally he's buying up the whole game.
Like he can crash the price.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
So basically, if someone can effectively sell and crash the price, or sell and completely increase the price, they're a whale because just based on the number of the value of tokens they hold. Cool, perfect.
Like as long as they can somehow manipulate the price or have an effect on the price, then they're a whale.
This is lovely and very simple. Shorting or longing?
Yeah, so longing is basically, okay, so let's say you have $5,000, right? And you want to go long because you basically, like, let's say you know how to study charts and stuff like that, or you're just gambling.
Do you think the studying charts is helpful or necessary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like before, I used to think it wasn't, but it actually is.
So that's actually science then. The charts will impact. You'll see the value in the charts before the price actually changes.
Yeah, sometimes. See, because like, let's say there's 100,000 people looking at the same chart at the same time as me and you are. They're probably like technical analysis is not really different. Like it's more so the same. Maybe some people have some slightly different approaches to it.
The interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like it's mostly the same. So if you see BTC is looking bearish and it's printing some bearish candles and it's about to go down, 100,000 other people are probably seeing that as well. So they're probably going short as well. You know. So shorting would be basically if you have $5,000 and you want to get a higher return. Essentially, you're borrowing. If you, let's say you're doing 5x short, or leverage is 5x. So let's say you have 5K. Yeah. Your leverage is 5x, 5 times.
When you mean leverage is 5x, what do
leverage is just basically how much you're able to play with. So like, let's say you have $5,000. Yeah. Your leverage is 5x. You'll be playing with $25,000.
You don't have that though.
Yeah, but you're borrowing it. You're essentially borrowing it. You know.
From where?
From the exchanges.
How
like from Binance.
How do you borrow 20K?
Because they're literally giving you 20K extra, you know?
No, I actually don't know. So you can actually borrow money from the exchanges.
Yeah, that's basically what leverage or futures is. Futures is just literally.
Oh, it's futures trading.
Yeah. It's
okay. So this is a different ball game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, if you lose it, you pay them. You still owe them.
Yeah, that's why you have a liquidation price. That's why you hear some people get liquidated and they lose everything. Because once there's like they set like a mark price, you know. Okay. So once your liquidation price is hit, you lose everything.
So shorting and longing is for futures only.
Yeah, for futures. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're not even gonna get into that because that's just like beyond everything. bear and bull, because I guess you describe bearish,
Yeah.
bear market, bull market. What are those?
So bull would be anybody who is basically like bullish on the market. You know, like they think it's gonna do well in a certain amount of time or a certain space of time, and then a bear or bearish is basically just someone who believes it's gonna go down and it's not gonna do well, stuff like that. You know. So
fair play, easy.
Yeah.
And then the last one, pump and dump.
Yeah, so
I think people got to be aware of this.
Yeah. Pump and dumps are quite dangerous. I actually got involved in them when I just started because obviously I didn't know much, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So pump and dump is basically just like a scheduled. It's just like a plan. It's like a planned thing where everyone just says, "Oh, we're gonna pump it at this time." So then, like 100,000 people get in and try and pump the price to a certain amount, but it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense because you're basically just giving someone else free money, you know? Like, if I get in before you and you take part in the pump and dump, I'm basically taking your money for free. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense. And then,
unless you dump with them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
cool.
Yeah, it's something that I wouldn't recommend to anybody.
So basically, you schedule it, everybody buys in, that pushes the price up.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the price is up versus what it was when you got in, you basically sell it as soon as possible for a profit.
Exactly.
However, the people left holding the bag are left lost because not everybody can win. Exactly. That's the game. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I do think that literally summarizes the flipping definitions, and I think it's lovely. I think some people are just like log enough now, going to do YouTube research. Right, cool, perfect. So I think there are, as I said, I think we discussed there's a bit of a trend now. A lot of people in crypto now that used to be, and there's some people that have been long-term investors. But what's your opinion on whether we're in a bull market or bear currently? Is the bull run over?
No, I don't think the bull run's over. I've always said, I think the bull run is probably going to be over early to mid 2022. So next year.
It's a bit of a long ride.
Yeah. So I don't think we're bearish. I do feel like the crash that we did have was probably manipulation.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think we're over.
Okay,
we
cool.
might be in the short-term bear market, but I think over the next couple of months we'll be bull again.
Okay. And then for people considering investing in crypto, how do you advise people kind of go about picking what to invest in? And what are the best resources you use for beginners? I guess you've touched based on a few, right? You've said Twitter, you've said YouTube. Kind of what are those steps you think? It's okay. This is if I want to start investing. What should I do? Yeah. What should I get? What are the resources I should look at? So on.
Yeah. So I'd say Twitter and YouTube are probably the best.
But how do you choose?
Who to watch?
Like genuinely, if I was literally just like advising people now, like, do you just literally search on Twitter cryptocurrency?
Yeah,
same with YouTube.
You can search cryptos, or you can search.
Now, how do you pick who's a good influencer or whatever to follow?
Yeah, you'll just kind of know over time. Like, you'll just be able to tell whose content is good based on, let's say they post charts and stuff like that, and every time their charts are wrong, then obviously you're gonna know that person is terrible. Then they don't know what to do. So
you think maybe follow them and understand what they do before you actually put any money in.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So and that's probably for Twitter, and then as for YouTube, it'll probably be like, I'd always recommend Crazy for Cryptos because that's where I started. There's a couple of other good YouTubers, but I'd say just see what people are saying about them as well. Like, go through their comment space, see if people have good words about them and stuff like that, So,
okay, cool. So I've got hay fever. My eyes are literally doing a mad. No problem. This year has been wild. I'm like,
my dad's is killing my dad as well.
Like, what is going? They put something in the air, trying to take me out. Okay, cool. Yeah. So anything outside of YouTube or Twitter?
I know Crazy for Cryptos has a Patreon group.
Okay, Patreon, yeah. Okay, so I've actually never used that, but I've heard about it.
So I did his Patreon for like a month. It was quite good. But yeah, I just said I need to go find things on my own, So that's why I left it.
So like, what about like WhatsApp groups? What's the Clubhouse and the Telegrams, etc.? Do you recommend those?
Nah, honestly, I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't. Like, I think anyone who really wants to learn.
Used to go on self-study.
Self-study, go on YouTube, go on Twitter. Twitter, you'll learn a lot. if you actually put your mind to it and follow the right people.
Yep.
And then I think you only need those 2 platforms. To be
Okay,
honest.
cool.
Yeah.
And like, who are some of your like mentors, role models in the space? Like, and what would you say? What about them resonates with you? Or if you have any, like some people don't have any.
Yeah. So there's a couple on crypto Twitter. I'd say a guy. Well, see, one thing about crypto Twitter is a lot of people don't put their real identities. You know.
Yeah, of course.
Just because.
No, but even handles. Right? Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to say them, but it's just like people within that crypto space, right? So is that crazy for crypto one?
Yeah, crazy for crypto is quite good. There's another guy on Twitter. His name is Anbessa, Anbessa. He's very good as well.
And like, are these young guys like?
Yeah, I see. Crypto Twitter it varies, bro. Like you can have people who are 20, you can have people who are like 28, people who are like 50. So it's like everyone who's on the crypto space. But the only thing is because they're anonymous, you know, you won't really.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And what would you say about these particular like profiles that resonates? Like, what makes you look up to them as like these are the guys to follow?
And it's just because they actually know what they're talking about, you know. Like, there's a lot of people on Twitter who 1 minute they're bullish, 1 minute they're bearish, and they don't know what they're saying. Like they're literally just talking out their ass, you know. But then some people like people like Ambessa or people similar to him, like I'm not saying they're always 100% correct because that's impossible.
They just know their stuff, though.
Yeah, they know their stuff.
So yeah, would you say you're an expert or like you know your stuff, or are you still learning?
Nah, I'm still learning. I'm far from an expert. Yeah. Like,
but you know your stuff, though.
Yeah, I know my stuff. Yeah, but like, I don't think you can ever know enough in
fully,
crypto.
Yeah, but I mean, so you're quite technical in that what you've learned so far, though, right?
Yeah.
Especially from where you started a year ago, right? So it's impressive.
Yeah.
Why would you say people why have you continued to invest in crypto versus other investments, right? So like your Ubers that you started with, like, because I'm assuming you no longer invest in those kind of traditional stocks and shares. What about crypto draws you other than the amount of money that you've made?
I just feel because it's like crypto is the best place to make a lot of money. Like I'm not saying you can't. Yeah, like you can make it in other places, but like, let's say you have like $1 million or even 500 grand or something like that, and you do 10% of your mil, which is very easy in crypto. You can do like at least 10% 3 times in a week, which is like 30%, and you've done like 300 grand. You know, just if you think about that way, you know. So it's like crypto is like in the stock market, 10%. Sometimes you'd have to wait a bit for that, you know.
Yeah, a long time.
So it's like, and in the bull market as well, lots of money comes into the crypto market. So that's why.
So you think it's just the rate in which you can make money?
Yeah, like you can make money stupid quick, and it's like you have fun doing it as well, you know? Like, it's just so many people who are doing crypto. You can talk about crypto and stuff like that, you know, and you can try educate people on it as well. And because it's still in its infancy, like crypto's only, I think, 12, 13 years now, which is very, very young. Yeah, you know, so it's only up from here.
And so what's your personal exit strategy with cryptocurrencies? Like when is your, like, what's your long-term play? Like, when are you like, okay, I'm done now, I'm hanging up my boots, like, this is, Mom, I'm done now, I'm thinking about my business degree again?
Yeah, like when I touched 50 mil,
wow, okay, so it's quite a significant
target. Okay. Which I don't think is too hard, to be honest. Like,
and why that number though? Just random, you picked it out of the air, or you think that's the number? You think you're never gonna have to make money?
Yeah, because I just think like you can't. There's not a situation, like there's not a point to where you're ever gonna want to stop, you know. But it's like 50 mil can literally do everything. It can buy you properties, which can pay you. It can allow you to invest in other markets, and literally you can live the life you want with 50 mil.
Okay, like, so 50. So you're basically financially, you've set the target of once I hit 50 mil, I'm pretty much good to go. I'm set. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, everyone. I guess everyone's got a different exit strategy, so it's good, right? So, and in terms of like particular coins, when do you decide to get out of them? Kind of like shorter term exit strategy.
It depends when I get in, how much I put in, and what I want to get out of it.
Okay. Oh, so it varies.
Yeah.
Okay, particular coin. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what would success mean to you though, in this game or just generally? What does it mean?
Success means, I don't know, like probably for me personally. Obviously, for everyone it's different. Maybe like for me it'd be taking care of my family, building skills, something I want to do.
Okay, cool. Whereabouts?
Yeah. Probably in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whereabouts in Africa? I don't think you've said.
Probably Nigeria and surrounding countries. And then just helping, like, you know, the less fortunate people. Yep. Getting like a house that I'd like to live in. Like, where
would your permanent home be? Because you've been around the world. Yeah. So where's your permanent home? Where's that? If you had that 50 mil, where would you put that 10-bedroom crib with a pool? Where would you put that?
It'll probably be London.
Damn,
London would be a nice place, or the Netherlands, one of them. Okay. Like,
so London, you're just choosing that because you haven't lived there before, right?
No.
It's just one. Yeah. I mean, London is the best city.
Very nice place. Yeah.
Best city. Okay, cool. Yeah, fair. Okay. And so, what do you think is like? What unique skill do you have? That you think has helped you make this money in crypto, or do you think anyone could do it? Do you think there's anything unique about you that's kind of helped you be successful in this game, or?
I think it's just the willingness to learn, you know? So many people, a lot of people don't care about learning and they just want to make their quick buck and they're out, you know?
I think, and that's, you know, and I think it's frustrating in a way from when I see it.
Yeah.
That kind of, what should I buy? When do I sell?
Exactly, yeah.
When do I? What have you, like, for me, sometimes it is a bit like where people say to you, oh, let me give you money to make. It's like, no, I could lose your money the same way you can. Yeah. Right? There's like, it's best that you do it yourself, right? You kind of learn the game, you decide. Exactly. And also everyone's risk appetite is different.
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone's exit strategy is different.
Yeah.
What people want out of every situation in life is different. So me holding on to your funds is just messy.
Like, some people just want to like make the money and get out. But it's like, if you learn the fundamentals, you'll know when to get out. You'll know when to get in. You won't have to ask the next man or the next woman and say, oh. And
also, I just feel like it's a personal, because when you want to get out, it may never be the same as me, right?
Yeah.
It may, because
I might put in a different amount.
Also, yeah.
Which, like, let's say if I put in 500 grand or 100 grand or something like that, a 5x is going to return me a lot of money, you know? Meanwhile, someone could put in maybe 5 grand and only get back 25 grand. That's still a lot of money.
Only. But, see, this guy's balling.
It's still a lot of money, but it's like, you know, the returns for someone else who's putting in a bigger amount compared to someone putting in a small amount is so different. So, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. No, fair. I agree. Yeah. And so what are you doing? Let's take a quick step back. So what do you do in your spare time? You're not investing now because obviously young.
Yeah.
Like most people at this age with that level of money will be quite reckless.
Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time?
Spare time.
What do you like to do?
I just try and study.
Other than buy Dior and Mary. Look at this guy, he's dripping. He wants to do rap videos, man. What's going
on? I just try and learn, like, more crypto. My life is just based around crypto now, to be honest, bro. Like, I just try to learn as much as I can.
How do you switch off, man? Learn.
Yeah, like.
No, but like, how do you enjoy your time? I mean, even if you're enjoying learning, like outside, literally away from the crypto space.
Probably just the gym.
Okay.
I like to go gym. That's only recently opened back up, so you know, I'll be back. I'm not really back.
So you don't have like a hobby or a ambition, like goal, passion, like still play football potentially?
Nah,
no.
Stop playing ball.
Traveling?
Yeah, I like to travel.
Okay, cool.
Travel here and there.
I feel like I had to drag that out. You know? So maybe not. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're still discovering your hobbies.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like for me, it's just mainly just focusing on getting my money.
Yeah, fair. I mean, you're still young.
Learning about the space as well. So.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what are your thoughts on, because obviously there's a trend, I would say, in crypto, but what are your thoughts on some of the meme coins, which a lot of people have invested, and they're only in meme coins, right? And so we're talking about the likes of, and so a meme coin, I guess you can help us with a definition, but we're talking about Dogecoin, SafeMoon, Shiba. I'm not probably a few more. Shiba, but first of all, tell us what a meme coin is.
A meme coin is basically a coin that has no utility.
Yeah, it's just no purpose, right? It's just for fun. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. What are your thoughts on some of those? Because they've Dogecoin. So actually, no, I'm not going to say Doge. SafeMoon for sure, and Dogecoin have made millionaires, right?
Lots of
People have made
millionaires,
millions off meme. Yeah. So,
memes,
what are your thoughts on them, just generally?
I don't think it's a good look for this space, but
You say that, but it's more adoption, right? There's more money in the space because of them.
yeah, but it's just, if you're looking at it from the financial point of view, yes, like people have made a lot of money, but if you're looking at it from a use case point of view, it's not really utility.
No, but I'm just about there's more money in the space, right? There's
it's bringing more money,
and more people, more adoption into crypto, right? Okay.
Definitely.
Like it's a lot of people's intro sometimes to crypto is meme coins. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so but you're not a big fan of them, though.
No, I basically all those coins that I played with last year, essentially, like some of them had utility, but essentially they're still meme coins, you know. So it's like, you need meme coins, in my opinion, to build yourself up, grow that capital. But a lot of people just, one thing I like, don't ever like hold on to it for too long. Like if you made your 5 or 10x or 20x, like just get rid of it and move it into like the good coins on Binance and stuff like that, you know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what do you currently watch, read, and listen to? Like, what's your you read any books? Do you listen to anybody or watch anything?
Yeah, last year I read a lot of books.
Any standouts?
What's it called again?
Is it crypto related or
nah?
Business?
It's just a normal book.
On business or?
Nah, on life. I can't remember the name.
You're gonna have to hit him up for it. He'll figure it out. And you go hit him up directly. Cool. And what do you watch? Hobby wise, learning. What do you currently watch or listen to? Like, is there any pods or anything stand out?
Yeah, so Lewis Morgan, I listen to his podcast quite often.
Oh, actually, yeah. So I've seen clips of that.
Yeah, it's quite good.
And he's got other entrepreneurs in there as well.
Yeah. As well.
And Lewis Morgan is the
very rich guy.
No, like what does he do? Like just
so he was the owner of Gymshark.
Okay, cool.
I think he started with someone else around my age. Then I think he sold all his shares for like 100 mil last year.
Okay, cool. So you listen to kind of his pod. Okay, cool. And so what would you say inspires you at the moment? And what pushes you to keep going and make that 50 mil? Like, what's your inspiration?
Just to get the things done, and not to live a mediocre life. Because, like, obviously money is not the be all and end all, but life is better with money. That's the truth,
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, like, because you don't want to be the person who's in 5 years saying, "Oh, I could have done this, I could have done that," and like, I'm not saying you have to have the Ferraris or the Lambos and stuff like that. That's all extra. But it's like when you see like people struggling to, have food and stuff like that, you don't want to be having that life, and you don't want to be working a job that you don't like and stuff like that, So
cool.
Freedom.
No, that's fair. That's financial freedom is that would inspire you to do well for sure. So as part of Lend Me a Five podcast, right? We ask 5 quick fire questions, right? You've got 10 seconds max to answer each one. So like, don't think too hard. It's just literally the first thing that comes to your head. Straightforward answer. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, you can't duplicate as well, so you can't say the same. Use the same answer for 2 questions, right? First one. Name one thing that you can't live without.
My phone.
Okay. One thing that you need to be successful.
As in like a trait or
anything. Just name one thing that you think you need to be successful.
Crypto.
One thing that brings you happiness.
My mother.
If you had one wish, what would it be?
For my parents to live forever.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Wow, you want them to be you want them to be genies or something. One thing you would advise a young version of you, even though you're quite young, but just like even a bit younger.
Buy Bitcoin earlier.
Fair. I mean, I've heard that from somebody else who wasn't in crypto, so that's definitely a recurring theme, man. But yeah, where can people connect with you, man? If they got any questions, if they want to like ask, just even connect and follow your journey and see what you're up to.
Yeah.
What's the best way for them to connect?
So they can connect with me on Insta, which is Gabriel _LL Capo, and then on Snapchat, which is that Dench Boy, so ThatDenchBoy, and then Twitter as well, which is mainly my crypto one, is Anonium Crypto, so ANONIEM Crypto.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. And then just the last thing we do, man. Can you lend me a $5? and I don't mean euros, bro. I'm talking about £5.
I can, but I don't have any
God.
change on me.
Bro, listen to me, yeah. I've done this several times. We're on episode 11, I believe this is, yeah. I might be wrong. Only one person says £5 on this. Bro, it's crazy.
I don't carry cash.
It's crazy, and every single person on here makes money. Every single person. So there's no excuses, bro. I was like, I actually thought he was gonna have euros. This he's giving me nothing. So it's all good, bro. Like, again, appreciate you, bro, for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
This particular episode, I think there's education, bro. Like there's so many people, as I said, in the space or thinking about going into the space. They now they can at least have an understanding as to what they're getting themselves into.
Definitely.
You got a success story in terms of how somebody with basically no knowledge of the space 12 months ago has learnt the game and came in and has actually made a substantial number of money. Enough for that to literally, some people it's enough to just walk away with. So I think, thank you for sharing those gems and kind of those lessons and your experiences. I think it's very helpful. I appreciate you. And obviously the fact that you've come, you don't live here, so you're from here. So you didn't come here for the podcast, but just to take the time whilst you are here, really appreciate that, bro, man. So thank you, bro, for taking the time, man.
Thank you too.
And yeah, so thank you everybody tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, leave comments, tell us what you think, and we'll keep them coming, man. Peace.
What you cooking, man?